All right. So I have one more question. In your opinion, what are small steps that we, and when I say we, I mean instructional designers and individuals interested in instructional design strategies, what steps can we engage in and create awareness as it relates to digital accessibility?
Yeah, that's a great question. My sort of awakening was when I took a course in semantic HTML. So up to that time, I had I had a good knowledge of HTML. I knew how to build websites and pages and courses with HTML. I knew the basics, and I was in doing the basics for a while. And then I took a course on semantic HTML, which is the HTML tagging that looks at the meaning of what you're doing as opposed to just sort of the design and aesthetics of it. And once I took that class, I realized that how many that by just doing some small changes, you could affect so many people. Before that course, I was always looking at the pages I was building that they needed to look correct and they needed to function properly for another individual looking at it. I fail to really understand and appreciate A, that person might not be able to see or something like that. Like that person might not be might have some need for something more than just a well-designed page. And second, I failed to appreciate before that class that individuals weren't the only people consuming this page, that this page is also being read, quotes, by search engines and readers. And it really just changed my whole opinion because I realized that with just some slight alterations, moving into semantic HTML, if I could be very, very specific in laying out the page with the proper a header and a footer, and when something is not really the main part of the page, it's an aside, tag it so I'm creating a page that if someone needs a reader, it makes it so much easier for them to consume this page. And for me, it was like, even if one person needs a reader for this page, that's enough. Like it doesn't have to have this tipping point where, well, unless a million people need a reader, why do it? No, it's the other way. If one person needs a reader, why not go through the extra 10% of effort to make this page accessible? So taking a very basic course in semantic HTML, which I would recommend everyone do. You could go to there's websites, there's YouTube channels, there's LinkedIn Learning. You could just find an entryway into understanding how important semantic HTML is. And then you realize, well, if I'm going to create a lot of pages and websites and courses, I could just create some templates and reuse them. Take the time and create a semantic HTML template. Then it's not that much work. And what you're doing for people who could need this and would like it and appreciate it, who you might never even hear, you might never get a thank you from. It's okay. They're out there. They need better and better web experiences. And you could do this with simple semantic HTML tags and you make somebody's experience better. I think it's enough to want to do it. So my first step, just do if you don't know what semantic HTML is and you work in creating web pages and courses, give it a look. And I think you'd appreciate and know that there are people out there who could really use a page that is built that way. And I would start there.
That's such a great point. It's just these little steps. We should constantly want to learn and improve. And when we think of accessibility, sometimes people might feel overwhelmed. Where do I start? I don't know everything about WCAG. Like, where do I begin? I'm not even going to try. And that's such a sad approach because when you do a little bit, when you engage in the semantic HTML course, right? When you say like, what maybe one little tip here or there that I can maybe change a camel case with a hashtag, right? Like these little things every day, every week, you can improve. It doesn't have to be everything all at once, but it's the commitment and the understanding that I will get better in time, my work will get better in time, the digital accessibility that I'm producing is going to get better in time, but at least I'm engaging in those conversations. So I totally support what you're saying.
Thank you. Yeah, and I would say don't wait for the thank yous. You don't need the thank yous. The people that appreciate it don't know you're doing it, but just know they're out there and they appreciate a better page, a more digitally accessible page. You might never come in contact with them. It's okay. They are out there and they appreciate it. Just know that going into your instructional design work. It is
That's the thing.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's not fulfilling in the way that other things are fulfilling. Like, oh, you get a ton of thank yous. No, you might not get any thank yous, but you're still doing the thing that is making the web better, and people do appreciate it. Just know that going in.
And that's a great point. It's that, when you go on a random web page, do you thank the designer? No, but having a web page that is accessible has increased the reach, right? So instead of someone saying, I can't access this, it's now they are digesting the information because they're able to do so with the back end changes and fixes that the instructional designer provided for that.